by, allowing yourself and those other wonderful people to be vulnerable and to share their story in order to help others is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Andrew. Yeah, I feel that is definitely the greatest gift of the books. Like, for me in the process, and I may have mentioned this already, just seeing how important and how much it helped the authors to share their story and that journey for them and the healing that came out of it. And then also the feedback that we've had from people who've read and really, tuned into one or two stories that really resonated with them. So, yeah, thank you for saying that. And I know this came up in my mind earlier, and I just wanted to thank you for the work that you're doing. I feel really honored to be, one of your guests. And but I think when we were talking and you were telling me a little bit about this podcast, like it was this desire that came up, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you got it together like in a week's time or something. You just decided. And what I love is that I feel like what our planet needs right now and what we're being called to do is to step into those places where we can be of service and we can lift people and come together in more healing, more love, more peace and success like you talk about, and you're doing it. So I just want to say, like, it's beautiful, way to go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was really, my process has always been to listen inside, and meditate and listen through the magic and power of the universe or God. And just kind of lays, when you have that intention and an intention to serve and to help people, that's the question I ask. So I'm a big believer is the quality of your life is largely dependent on the quality of questions that you ask. And for myself, it was looking at my 90-second videos, and I was very happy because it was helping people, and it was going and building that. And it was very, very nervous to get in front of the camera for the first time, and it took me a while to get the courage. But then when my drive and my intention was to help people was bigger than my fear, and then I was able to do it. And then after doing, I don't know, maybe a month or so of the 90 seconds, I was actually speaking with Stefan Morai, and she is the singer from Brand Van 3000 who sung Drinking in LA. And she's just an amazing person, wonderful, wonderful, big heart. She's a lawyer. She's so smart. She's an amazing diva singer. She's such a loving and caring person. And I was on a phone call with her, and that phone call just came up. We started talking about podcasts, and then boom. And I was like, okay, that's it. Like, and that was it. And then 1 week later, I did my first one with Inga Brower, who's a healer and Reiki specialist, and just a wonderful, wonderful human being. And what was so cool about that was that Inga was meditating, and at the same time that I was meditating, we didn't know, and she got a message that she should start being on a podcast or a radio show. And I was meditating, going, who should be my first guest? And I had a lot of people to choose from, and it just came, I should be with Inga, who I don't know, really super, I didn't know very well at the time. And I was like, I should just feel like it should be her. And it was just so magical. And she was like, wow, like we were just on the same wavelength, and boom, and she helped me to get that started. So it was great.
There is so much magic in this universe, isn't there? And I can't remember. This is something I've been learning about, and I feel like I was watching one of your podcasts yesterday, and you mentioned this too, how really 5% is conscious, and then generally speaking, for most people, we live in the 95% is the autonomic nervous system, the unconscious. And the more that we can bring those veils down, that's where the magic happens, right? Like, so incredible how you connected to your first guest that way.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. It's having that that faith and pure intention. So asking those right questions, how can I help more people? Is so blessed, to have you on, and then through Jeremy, and he's a wonderful, wonderful person. And there's just so many people that just come like one after the other organically. It hasn't been like I had to push or like hit the phones, like, hey, do you want to be? It wasn't any of that. It's just oh, okay, next person, next person, next person. And now
Mhm.
it's really becoming this really wonderful collective of such amazing people at such high vibration and all their different viewpoints coming together, which is super, super cool. So maybe one day you can help me and we'll do like a book and each person can write like a page or two and then you can help me do that. We can write together.
I love that. That sounds amazing. Just to follow up on your point of how can we be of service, I had an interesting little question pop up in my mind, and it was just 5 minutes before getting on online with you, and it was okay, Rebecca. Little reminder, because I'm honored to be on this and to share some of my points of view and some of my wisdom. However, what came to me was, it's not about you, Rebecca. Remember, how can you be of service, right? That's where, like you said, the greatest gifts come from when we are being of service. So, what came to me, just where I'm at in my life at this time, probably I can definitely connect people who are looking for a publisher through my connection to Julie and Influence Publishing. That's one connection, way I can be of service. Of course, we haven't talked too much about this, but I'm a part of a beautiful, highly conscious company called Isagenix International. And I know, you're connected through Jeremy and through Monica. So we don't have to go into that story very much, but that's another way that I definitely still help people with health and nutrition and vibrant health. Yeah, I've been a part of that company for 15 years, and there's just no nutrition like it on the planet that I've found. It's been a blessing in my life. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so. I started it's now it's about maybe a month and a half ago using Isagenix products, and they're absolutely fantastic. And I saw those pictures from Jeremy, the before and after pictures, and they're just mind blowing, you know. And
Mhm.
after seeing them, I'm like, And then one day I was just like, okay, I can't take it anymore. These amazing, amazing before and after, and then
Right.
what I really liked about it, about Isagenix, it really is, it's way more than just the products. It's way more than just a health supplements. It's really the whole philosophy or mentality. And with yourself, I see that with you, with Monica, with Jeremy, is this really positivity and this kind of general like physical wellness as combined with mental wellness together.
Mhm. Yes, I watched Monica's podcast yesterday, and I've watched Jeremy's. They're both beautiful. And she talked a little bit about the self development that is so a part of our beautiful company. And that's, I mean, for me, again, like 15 years, like I had this little brown box dropped on my doorstep, and I thought I was gonna, shave off a few pounds and get healthy. I had no idea that it would lead to this beautiful community of people, and the self-development, the journey I've been on, just, being exposed to books and thought leaders and just incredible people. It's I'm really quite a different person than I was 15 years ago.
Mhm.
So I would say that's been one of the greatest gifts.
Yeah, really amazing. Just wonderful people. Everyone I've met, and everyone even that I haven't actually maybe even met in person, but just online and seeing their comments and their mentality and what they're posting for different people that are involved in Isagenix is so uplifting and so motivating and just such wonderful, wonderful people. How can people reach you if they want to speak to you about maybe Isagenix or about your book or something like that?
Yeah, well, definitely just even through Facebook Messenger. I know this podcast is going to be on Facebook.
Where's the best place to purchase those wonderful books?
Right. Amazon probably is the easiest, quickest place. I just was looking this morning. There's great prices on them, and I can share those links as well when you post the podcast. I guess we can add those links in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was wondering if you could provide the listener with some health tips.
My whole reason for being passionate about health is probably similar to a lot of people. We all have a journey. We all have a story, right? I had some childhood trauma, which really led to my teens I would say just really searching for balance, inner peace, mental health. I found exercise. Exercise was my outlet. It just, I think, grounded me in my body, made me feel strong and connected and whole. And so I found exercise and nutrition early on, just as a foundation to really feel good. And of course, there's all of the brain chemistry, the endorphins, and all of the serotonin, all the good, happy brain chemicals that happen with exercise. So, similar to Monica, I mean, I was a teenager in the 80s, so it started with aerobics and weight training and those kind of things. And my first career, straight out of high school, I actually went to theater school, and my first career is acting. So I did some beautiful things in that arena, things I look back on, and I think there was a lot of fun and things I'm still proud of. However, I feel like that wasn't my true purpose in this life, and I sort of, so that's where the personal training, I just easily navigated towards becoming a personal training, doing all of those training courses. And I was lucky, I got a job in a gym very, very quickly, taught a ton of different classes, and became a personal trainer, and then opened my own studio in my home. So that was really great. I was able to have this studio here for 12, 14 years, something like that. So health tips, I mean, I think if you're stuck, it's just a great way to start, and it can be as simple as walking. Like, just move your body, you know? If there's energy that's stuck and you're feeling stuck in your life in certain ways, and you're not already really tuned into exercise, like, find what works for you. Maybe it's, can be anything, can be tennis, can be working out, weight training still, like, I just need it. Like, I just feel so good when I do it. Um, yeah, and then, of course, I'm very passionate about the nutritional system I found, and then putting good, obviously healthy food into our body. And I'm not so much of a calorie counter or a diet person. I think there's so many diets and so many ways we've been led astray, and so much information that's really, really confusing. I think what's more important in our world now is counting chemicals more than counting calories, because we're just inundated. I think it's quite common knowledge that there's chemicals in our food, in our air, in our water, in the things that we put on our skin. We can't avoid it. So we need to combat that, try to put less chemicals in, and try to find a way to cleanse them out of our system.
Yeah, well said, well said. Um, Rebecca, what do you think the secret of life is?
Oh gosh. The secret of life. Hmm. Wow, that's a big one. I think it's really probably finding what lights us up, what actually makes us feel happy. Like I just talked about, for me, it's been exercise, it's been fitness. That's been one of my outlets. Writing has been another one. And finding those things that light us up, that help us feel alive. And I think, we're still in a situation where a lot of people are recovering from what society has told us. Go get that 9 to 5 job, make money so you can buy the house, and all of those things. And I think that some people are really blessed because they find their way that happens to be work, and it can also fuel them, and they love it, and they can grow there. And then I think a lot of people have found found a career or a job that doesn't necessarily fill them up, and yet we still have to pay bills and make money, and so I feel like, yeah, there's a great evolution taking place where people are finding more and more their true purpose. And it's connected to what we were talking about before, when we can be of service and really bring our gifts and talents, our unique gifts and talents, in a way that can help other people. That's where we're starting to find the magic sauce, which
Yeah,
is, again, what you're doing right now, right?
yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. That was a great answer. I just for no reason, just wanted to put you on the spot and just see what you would say. I'm like, it's kind of
No, I love it.
a
That's
big
good.
question for sure. Yeah, there's so many things that wonderful things that you said there. I think one, is the Wayne Dyer quote saying, "Well, if you can't take anything with you," he's like, when he's kind of describing when he figured out life, he's like, then obviously the purpose of life is to give everything away, right? So, and then
Mm.
there's a Picasso quote I just read yesterday, right? Do you know the quote?
You know what? It's so funny. I just posted a picture of my daughter standing in front of that very quote. I'm sure it's the same one. Yes, I do. I believe it's the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. It's such an
Yeah.
amazing quote. Really,
Yeah, I love it too.
yeah, really awesome. So it's kind of understanding that, right? Like art of war, like know thyself, like the first thing, right? Know you. And once you start knowing you more and more, and that's again getting away from the illusion of life. This happens, finding you happens in a dark room when you're meditating, right? Like when you're jogging, I find a lot of stuff comes to me when I'm running. And I love going running for that. And I get just
Mm.
inspiration comes to me. And then when you find those gifts and what you're talented in, it's about sharing them or giving them away. So I think of like all these things. I was just talking the other day with someone and saying, well, I'm just happy that my voice, I just happen to have a voice that carries, like you have a very lovely voice as well. But, some people, like let's say Mike Tyson, right? He's got a very particular voice, right? That's like, I don't know, 3 octaves above middle C, right? It's like just super, super, super high, which is just like, it's so different people. Some people have voices that can carry, some people don't. It's just like luck of the draw. So I look at the gifts that God has given me, and I said, okay, He's given me, showered me with so many, many gifts, the gifts of music, and I use that to, you know, go and share my music with the world. And then when I felt that that was had run its course or was kind of done, not that I still love music and would always be producing and writing more songs in the future. Then I found to write like you did, inspired to write a book. My hat's off to you, because I know how difficult it is. So difficult to write and write something original and put a book together. That is a monumental task. I don't know if you saw that statistically. It's like there's some crazy statistic like 92% of people have thought about writing a book in their life, and like less than 2% ever have, right?
Mm.
Um,
It's a desire on a lot of people's lists because I think that a lot of people have that burning story in them, and they have something that can help other people if they bring it to the world. And that's one thing I'll say about Julie. I think that's her niche is she's really tuned into that community of people who have a beautiful story that needs to
mm.
come out into the world.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's really cool. That was one of my inspiration to do the podcast too, is to say, you know what? I think everybody has a story,
Hmm.
right? Everybody
Yeah.
has some unique thing they went through, challenge they overcame, and to share that thing. But most of these people, because of what we know and we were just talking about, they won't write that book, they won't make that podcast, they won't post that post. They just kind of keep it inside. And I understand sometimes it's very, very painful, and they want to just forget about it and put it aside, and that's okay. That's fine. They're allowed to do that. But for people that do have that story to share to help other people, I think is just really, really there. And for me, I'm really just want to listen and give kind of a platform for those people to share those stories, to hopefully the right person in the universe will do the rest of the work to put those people together so they can hear that and resonate and help them get through that, right? That phase.
Yeah, well, it's very similar to the collaborative books that the book series because I think what I'm getting is when you started, you were just really doing your own like the 90 seconds of wisdom. But then it was like, oh, yeah, no, I need to invite other people in. I need to create this platform, right? And that's what the collaborative book is. I mean, I wouldn't have a book series if those brave 11 people didn't step forward to say, yes, I want to be part of that first book, you know?
So on the last note, I want to say, is there anything that nobody ever asks you and they wish maybe they would, or anything you want to share with the listener?
Well, I'd love to share my greatest dream, which is actually to see my film on the big screen. I have this vision of me eating popcorn, seeing it all actually out there. So I can just tell you briefly about that. It's a story that's it's fiction, but there's pieces of my own life woven into it. So it's a story that honestly, it was a lot of it was channeled. I was pregnant with my daughter at the time, so it's been sitting in my drawer for a while. She's 13 now, but I was pregnant and I think maybe I feel like just being in that state, so I would dream pieces of this film, and it's about a woman basically on a journey for that higher purpose. She's an artist. I won't tell you the whole story, but anyways, just recently I'm making some connections, and just this morning, like I was connected to this beautiful woman who has her own independent film production in California. And we had a beautiful conversation this morning. So I feel like, there's always timing, but might as well. Thank you for the platform. I'll put it out there. If anybody is looking for a great script with a fantastic female lead, I think we need more stories with women as leads. I'm also thinking in this time, this is a new sort of thing that's come to me. But if I could find a strong woman of color to step into that role, when I first wrote it, of course, there's pieces of me in it. So I sort of pictured a redhead and freckly and that sort of thing. But I just think this time, it's so important for women of color to be highlighted in those roles that are the lead, that aren't the best friend or in the background or the supporting. So I'm not sure how it's all going to come together, but it's something I'm excited for.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Yeah, you said about having red hair, and you know that like statistically we're going to be eliminated, right? Do you know that like the amount of redhead people is declining, and
Yeah.
there's an actual date that there's going to be like no more. Like we're going to be
Wow.
yeah, we're gonna be like in the history books. Some people used to have red hair, and they're like, no way, and it's gonna be like us
It
in the
it's hard to imagine that we'll be gone. I don't know, I just think there's all
you
those Scottish and Irish people. Can they not travel the world and populate the world? I don't know.
I don't know, just
Yeah,
what I hear. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
we're a dying breed. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, us gingers have to stick together, hey?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. So look, with that, Rebecca, I guess I will wish you a successful and peaceful mind, and thank you again for coming on and taking the time to share your story with the listener and with myself. It's been super enjoyable. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Andrew. It's been an absolute joy to get to know you and be a part of your podcast. I'm so honored. Thank you.
Okay, awesome, awesome, Rebecca. So we're wishing you a wonderful day, and for sure you'll come on with, of course, the next book, the next thing. We'll have you on as a guest to talk a little bit about that.
Love it.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Have a great day.
okay, bye, Rebecca.
Bye.